How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my episode here on Let's Build Twitter. As always, I'm Ethan, or Unknown Coder, your favorite underqualified senior software engineer. As always, if you guys want access to the private repository for this project, there is a link in the description down below that'll walk you through exactly how to get access to that. Now, that being said, let's go and hop into what we're working on today. Today, we're going to go ahead and continue working on getting our images and post stuff working. There's a couple things we need to go ahead and finish up, specifically with post in this bottom bar. So whenever we have like an image like this, these should be crossed out, and then if we have like a GIF here, all of them should be crossed out, the image, GIF, and poll. And if we have 4 images, the image, GIF, and poll should also be kind of disabled or crossed out. So we need to go ahead and work on that. Once we get that done, we'll see how far we get, but then we'll start working on the poll. And then if we have time, we'll also work on the new schedule and stuff. And then we'll probably be ready after that to start actually working on images, so on and so forth. So that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the code, get to work. Bear with me here, I woke up with a bit of a scratchy throat, so we're going to try to push through here, but let's hop into the code and get to work. So as I mentioned, we're going to be working inside of our create post button cluster where we left off last time. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down underneath our handle get images, and we're going to go ahead and update our determined full and our disabled GIF. And we're also going to go ahead and actually update the disabled GIF to be disabled GIF and poll, because that one's going to use the same logic. So for determined poll, we're going to go ahead and return, and inside here we're going to say create post DTO dot images dot length, maybe length is equal to 4. Or another way for this to be full is if we have a create post DTO dot GIF is not equal to undefined. And it seems like I forgot to also add poll here, so I'm also going to say or create post DTO dot poll not equal to undefined. So those are going to be the ways that this is like quote unquote full. Then now let's also go ahead and disable our GIF and our whatever this is called. So let's go ahead and delete this, disable GIF and our poll. So here we're going to go ahead and return basically the same thing except slightly different. So here we're going to create post DTO images length is greater than 0. So if we have any images, we'll disable GIF and the poll, and let's also rename this disable GIF and poll. And then if we have any GIF, we'll disable it. So create post DTO, and then this will be .gif is not equal to undefined. And then finally, or, and I spelled undefined wrong, otherwise our create post DTO poll is not equal to undefined. So if we have any of that, then we'll go ahead and disable our GIF button and we'll disable our poll button. So there's that. Now we need to go ahead and go through and update some stuff. So if we come down here, the first thing that we need to go ahead and look for is about line 114, which this is not even close to line 14. We want the handle get images. So now once again, it'll still just be determined full. I don't know why I have put this in here. This should be fine. Let's see, this all looks good to go to me. I don't see any crazy changes. So on change is handle get images, type as file, ID is images, accepts image slash, multiple true, ref is image, select the ref hidden, and then disabled is determined full. So I think that's probably fine. And then here, instead of disable GIF, this is going to be disable GIF and poll and create button post, or that should be fine. And then once again on click will be display, and then here we want to go ahead and change this into a button and disable it. So we're going to go ahead and say button and button, okay. And then at the very end here we're going to go ahead and say disabled. So let's come over here, say disabled, oops, if I could type that'd be cool, disabled is equal to, and then this is going to be determined, actually not determined, this will be disable GIF and poll, like so, and that will fix that up. So then that'll go ahead and disable that guy. And we also want to go and update this type of post. So here, instead of saying state that post images greater than 0, so here we're just going to go ahead and say disable GIF and poll, like so. And we're also going to go ahead and turn this into a button. So we'll say button and update itself. And then here we need to go and update our generate poll. So now instead of being a div element, this will be a button element, like so, and that should make that happy. And then we also need to go ahead and disable this guy. So let's come to the end here, and once again we'll say disabled is equal to, and then disable GIF and poll, and we'll do that. And I believe that's everything, other than we need to go and update these colors here. So for our GIF SVG, we'll also go ahead and update this. So this will be, once again, our disable GIF and poll question mark. And then also down here for this poll, we want to go ahead and check the same thing. So we'll say disable GIF and poll, like so, and that should be good. I believe that's everything we want to change in here. I think we don't add anything else. We'll see what happens whenever we hop in there and try to move things around. Let's get this out of the way. Now let's go and hop into the create post button cluster CSS, and we need to make a small change there. And here we're going to go down to about line 18. So inside of this icon BG, we're going to go ahead and put a border of none because we turn this into a button on some of these, so we don't want a border on it. We're going to have outline of none, once again because it's a button. We'll have a background normally of transparent, once again, that way we don't have some weird button background. So let's go ahead and save that. And now in theory we should be able to hop in there and take a look. So let's just see. So now you can see that these two are disabled, and then if we go ahead and add some more images, so let's just go and click on this. I'm going to blur my screen for a sec, and I'll add a few more images. I don't know if this is going to replace all of them or not, so I'll just do this. There we go, we have 3. Now all of these are disabled. You can't click on any of them. If I go ahead and click out of these and then go ahead and add a GIF. I can't add a GIF out of here yet. We're going to work on that next, but let me blur my screen once again. I'll go ahead and add a GIF from my downloads that I was playing with earlier and open. And then now all 3 of these are also disabled. So now we can't add any of those. So that's looking good. And now the next thing that we want to go and worry about is being able to actually click on this GIF guy, have it open up and add GIFs to our new state. Because right now, if we go through here, click on this, it's not adding it to anything because it's adding it to the old slice. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh really quick just to delete or clear out that Redux slice, and now top back into the code and get to work so that we can actually attach our GIFs to our post again. For this, we need to go and hop into our feed post creator GIF modal, and inside here, whenever we go ahead and I don't believe it's add GIF, it's attach GIF to post. Here we go. So basically what we're going to want to go ahead and do is I'm just going to delete all of this because we don't need it. Let's go ahead and delete this, and then in here what we'll go ahead and do is we're going to stop propagation, so no funny business happens. We're going to say let post image of type post image equal to, and here image ID will just be 0 because we'll save it later. Image name will go ahead and be backticks $sign curly brace state dot search term dash GIF, and then we'll also go ahead and have image type will be GIF. Here this is why it's GIF or image/GIF. We could probably put image/GIF there and be okay, but I'm not sure. And then image URL be e.current target, target dot and then ID. So that is our post image. Then we go ahead and dispatch. We'll dispatch update post state, bring that in, and then inside of here we'll go ahead and update the property of GIF. Here we could have probably updated the post images, but we're only updating one thing on this one, so it's fine. And value will go ahead and be post image. Now that should be good. Now whenever we click on one of these, it should actually go into the post and disable stuff. So let's go ahead and just see if that's working really quick. So now if we click on our GIF, we click on, I don't know, click on this. Now the only thing is it seems like I forgot to hide this, so I don't think I actually wanted to delete everything out of that, but I think that we still want to go in here, and I don't remember what the dispatch was in here. Let me look really quick. So I think all we want to do is dispatch once again. We'll just dispatch update display GIF, I believe, and do that, and then that should close out of it. Let's go ahead and save that and try it again. So now if we refresh, we go ahead and go into our GIF and we click on this, I guess. Click on this, it closes. Now all of these, you can't do anything. We'll be able to add description eventually, and we can close out of this, and that's good to go. So now we have our GIFs and images working and everything. Now we can go ahead and start working on polls. Obviously, when you click on that guy, it's not doing anything right now. We need to actually be able to open this up and do all that work. And hopefully this isn't disabled. Let me just double check to make sure this guy's not disabled right now, and that's why it's not doing anything. It's active. Okay, it's not disabled. So we just need to do some work. So let's go ahead and hop into our PostSlice and get to work on this guy. Inside of our PostSlice, there is quite a bit of work to do. So let's go ahead and come down below this one. We're going to go ahead and make a new interface. And this is going to be update poll payload. And inside of our update poll payload, we're going to have an index of a number, and we're going to have a choice, maybe I could type text of a string. Then we have a bunch of reducers to set up. I'm just going to put them below here underneath our update post images. And these reducers have quite a bit of work in them, so this is going to be fun. So first one we're going to do is create poll, and all of this is going to take in is state, and it's going to generate a poll for us automatically. So we're going to go ahead and say set up choices equal to a new list, and this is going to be very similar to what we have in our old one. And then inside here we'll go ahead and say and actually before we do this, our choices should be a poll choice array. Here we go. Then inside of each poll choice, I have a poll choice ID. This will go ahead and be 0. We'll have a poll text, or a choice text, not poll text, choice text. Here will be empty, and then we'll have votes, which obviously there aren't any votes. And then we'll have one more, so poll choice ID. Once again, it will be 0. We'll have a choice. I need to make sure I spell text right, so I'll fix that in a second. Then our votes. Let me go ahead and fix this. So there are our default choices. And then below our choices, we'll go ahead and say let poll of type poll equal to one of these. We'll have a poll ID of 0. We're going to go ahead and have end time. And this is going to be fun to deal with later, but it's going to be 1 day, 0 hours, 0 minutes. And then we'll have our choices. Now we'll go ahead and return our state, our state. My brain's not fully working this morning. And then we're going to have poll. That will go ahead and create our poll. Next, we need to be able to update a poll. So update poll. And this will be state and action. Here we'll go ahead and have a payload action, maybe. And this is going to be of type update poll payload. And then we'll go ahead and open this guy up. So here we need to go ahead and make a copy of our poll so we can modify it. So let poll equal to, and then json.parse, and then json.stringify. And then we're going to say state.poll. Here we probably wanted to check to make sure the poll existed first. So I'm going to go ahead and check if our state.poll, and I'm going to say if not state.poll, then we're just going to go ahead and return the state. We have nothing to update here. This should never happen, but it's just a little bit of a failsafe. And then here is say if poll. So if we have our poll, which we probably don't need at this point, but it is what it is, we'll say let choices equal to, and then poll.choices. So this is primarily what we're going to be updating here. I say if choices.length -1 is less than action.payload.index. And here we're going to go ahead and say let choice poll choice. And then here we're going to go ahead and say poll choice ID of 0, choice text is action.payload.choice text. And then finally, votes are still going to be empty. Then after that, we'll go ahead and say choices and action.payload.index going to be equal to choice. And then otherwise, so else, here we'll say let choice equal to poll choice. Let me actually do this properly. Poll choice, I could type, and then equal to choices of action.payload.index. Okay, and then here we'll go ahead and say choice is equal to ... choice, and then choice text equal to action. If I could type action.payload.choice text. And then after this, we need to go ahead and update our choices once again. So choices of action.payload.index is equal to our new choice. And then finally, we'll go ahead and outside of this, we'll say poll choice poll dot choices is equal to choices, like so. And then now we need to go ahead and return the state, return, and dot state. And then we'll also go ahead and put in that poll. So this should, in theory, update that. And let's see here. I messed something up. Choices, let choice. I don't know what is wrong. Did I spell something incorrectly? Let's just double check all this. Why? And let's try to paste it in. Did I go too far out? I might have went too far out. Let's see. Let's actually move this up maybe. Move this into here and then move this up. I might have went a little bit too far out here. Yes, I did. Okay. And then move this guy there. There we go. Okay. So now there's our update, and we need to make one more to be able to update our polls here. Finally, we'll go ahead and add a comma. We'll say let's set poll date, and here let's take a state and an action, and this will be a payload action of type string. And here, let's go ahead and open this guy up. Once again, we'll check if not state.poll. We'll go ahead and just return the state. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and say let poll equal to json.stringify, and actually json.parse, and then json.stringify, pass in the state.poll. And then we'll say if we have our poll, we'll go ahead and update this, the action time or the end time. So poll is equal to ... and then poll. And then here our end time will be action.payload. And then we'll just go ahead and return the poll at the bottom here. So return and ... state, comma, poll. So there is all of those. Now we just need to go ahead and return these basically. So we need to go ahead and do create poll here. We need to update poll and then set poll date. And in theory, those should all be good. I could have typed something here, my brain fog and everything. So we'll see. But now what we need to go ahead and do is we need to hop into our create button cluster and actually create the poll. So now whenever we actually create a poll, we need to change this create poll from our v2 to our v1. So we need to go our v1 to v2, I'm sorry. So we can go ahead and get rid of this if, and I'm just going to delete all of this honestly. And then in here, what we'll go ahead and do is we'll say dispatch and then create. I think we actually called it generate poll. Make sure this comes from our v2. That's not it. We want create poll, and we want to make sure it comes from v2. I don't know why we're not seeing it here. Probably because it still thinks it's coming from v1. So let's go ahead and remove create poll from here, and then we'll bring it in from here. So we'll say create poll, like so. And I guess I didn't name it create poll. Let me go ahead and double check this. Oh, it's because I put it in the modal slides. Let me actually put it in the right thing. So here, create poll. Now it's not me mad. It doesn't look like we're using that state anymore, so we could probably get rid of that as well. So let's go ahead and get rid of this old state. We're leaving it around for the time being so things weren't broken. So now in theory, we should be able to generate a post or a poll. Let's go ahead and just see that a poll pops up here, and we might have a little bit more work to actually get everything else working here. So now if we give it a refresh, just to give it the best chance here, and we go ahead and create a poll. Now you can see we have our choices. We can either poop my pants or pee my pants. But anyway, you can go ahead and start working on updating this now, and hopefully we can add and everything like that. So now let's go ahead and hop into our feed creator poll to actually update some of this stuff as well. So inside of our feed creator poll, basically all we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and get rid of remove poll. We're going to have set poll date. We're going to have update poll. And we'll also go ahead and update post date. So update post state, and this is going to come from PostSlice v2 instead. So now it's automatically going to go ahead and allow us to update our choice text and all that stuff. The only thing we need to go ahead and do now is update this remove. So what we're going to do instead of remove poll, we're going to go ahead and just update post state like so, and our property is going to go ahead and be poll like so, and then our value for our poll will be undefined. So now we're able to go ahead and get rid of that poll pretty easily here by just going ahead and clicking on it and updating and everything. So that one was pretty easy. Let's go ahead and take a look here really quick. So now if we go and refresh, we can go ahead and make a poll, and let's just make sure we can do what we want. We can add, we can change this, 2 days, 3 hours, yada, yada, yada. We can add choice text. So we can poop my pants, pee my pants, not either. Or we can go ahead and sleep. I don't know. And then there should be a way to remove these, but I don't remember how, or maybe Twitter doesn't let you. If they're empty, they just do nothing. But that is that. Now the question is, do we continue? Because next up, we want to go ahead and work on being able to schedule a post, but I think we're not getting super long here, but if we push too far, we will be getting a little bit too far. Let me just check to see how much code there is to actually schedule a post. I think we're going to go ahead and call it here. I know this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but I want to be able to not go way over. I'm a little bit concerned that if we go ahead and keep pushing, we're going to be getting into the 40+ minute mark. So with that being said, y'all, I hope you did enjoy. I know some of these episodes might be a bit longer. They might be a little bit shorter sometimes, but that's just how this is going to go with the way I have this all set up. Next episode, we're going to go through and start setting up our schedule again and make sure our schedule works. And then we can also start working on making sure we can edit our images inside of our post itself. So with that being said, y'all, hope you have a great day. This has been Ethan Coder. I'll see you all in the next video.